Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the 8th episode of IOHL Radio. I am here with Jay Diggs and Pat, as usual.
Oh my God, what's up, Jay Diggs?
Yo, what's up, bud?
How you guys doing?
Nothing much. I got a couple things to talk about, news and announcements. Season 3 sign-ups are open. They're different. They're formatted a little differently this time, so just click Bill's post and follow the directions.
Yeah, sign up, it's right there on the front page of the site when you hit forums, season 3 sign-ups. If anybody needs help, send me, Supreme Trooper Jay Diggs, any commissioner, will pretty much help you out, and most of the owners will help you out also, so just, if you can see any of those guys' names, just let them know you need help, sign it up. If you can't figure it out, we'll help you.
Let's get this moving. Ownership application for Season 3 is open as well still. They're looking for like 16 teams for Season 3. IOHL Radio's doing a new section based on the success of last week's little topic.
We're looking at 16 teams this season? That's 6 more new teams, right? That's pretty huge. That's awesome.
Yeah, 16 teams. But on to my next topic. IOHL Radio starting a new section. It's based on the success of last week's little heated discussion about the Toronto Maple Leafs and the rules and regulations. It's going to be called the 5-Minute Major. We'll be talking about heated discussions. This week's discussions are commissioners' behavior and
in the chat boxes.
Faking in the chat boxes and faking availability.
Right.
We'll get into that later. We also have Murph coming on to he's going to address his team's actions. He's going to try to address his team's actions last week.
Yeah, there was a controversial play last week.
Yeah, we talked about that on the radio show, so everybody already knows the situation.
Right.
So yeah, let's get on with the show here. We're gonna talk a little bit about individual stats. You got Insane Woody. It's been an insane scoring machine. He's got 65 points and 37 assists.
In 18 games played. That is crazy.
That's
tight.
Crazy. That's tight.
That is. Murph, too, has 79 shots and 25 goals. And that's crazy.
Alright, let's continue on the leaders here. Goals, J Hubs, 92, 35 goals. He's also leading at 50 with a plus 57 and plus minus, so he's definitely a good defensive two-way forward. Leaders in goalies and goal against average, and Powder has a .9 goal against average. I don't know how many games he has played at goalie, but it's definitely good goal against average. Save percentage, Pat, was up.
Oh, I was just wanting to say, you got Gut Punch. Is actually the goals leader for the season here, with Teen,
How is he the goals leader? Really, J Hub says 35. I'm going by the MyStats page too, and he says goals, J Hubs 35.
Oh. Never mind. I was looking at the Panthers. He's the goal leader for the Panthers.
Oh my
Sorry.
God. Well, on a different note, he does have 4 game-winning goals, which is the most in the league, so.
Yeah. Quit making me do shots, Jadis. I swear
I'm sorry. I get you drunk before the radio show.
Right.
It's not happening anymore.
Wow. An Insane Woody has 28 goals. How many games has he played? And him and that Michael D are in a tight race right there.
Let's get back to goalies. You're on save percentage. Bobrovsky, 72 is leading the save percentage. 933. Wins, Hockey Gods has 12. Shutouts, has 3. That's really it for individual stats. I don't really like talking about individual stats. So, let's get on to, team standings.
Well, also, hold on. Hockey Gods is leading all goalies with 1 point. And that's huge. Because, that's a tight stat to be in control of. Whatever, man. I'm sure he's proud of his 1 point as a goalie.
Also, thinking of Hockey Gods.
Shout out to Hockey Gods.
Known to me that he cannot do Players of the Week. Thank you for trying, Hockey Gods, but we are looking for a guy for the Players of the Week, so just message me that if you want to help out the radio show with the Players of the Week. We still haven't started that yet. But let's get on to the standings now. Eastern Conference is, not really tight. It's tight between 2, 3, and 4. Not really 2, 3, and 4 is even that. It's really tight between 2 and 3, and that's about it. Toronto seems to be running away with the conference lead. They're 23, 4, and 3, 49 points. And, if you got the Florida Panthers squeaking behind them, just squeak barely, and they squeaked away from New York. 36 points. They're about 3 points. They're about 5 points ahead of the Rangers.
5 points ahead of the Rangers,
and about 12 points behind Toronto, I believe.
But they're well within a playoff spot, so they're kind of safe. As long as they continue their play, they should be right within a playoff berth.
Sinking. 15, 13, and 1, 31 points. Detroit is also struggling with 11, 17, and 2. But Pat,
the Islanders, I gotta tell you what, they are hot.
Can we talk about
what
we were talking about before we get on to the Islanders? Detroit's really struggling this week.
Sure.
They have 11, 17, and 2, 24 points. So they're sinking fast. I think they lost to New York 4-3, so they had a tough loss against them. New York has turned it around. 10, 17, and 3. They really turned it around. They are 1 point behind Detroit. They won 8-1 against Winnipeg, and they won 4-3 against Winnipeg. They've really turned it around. Nicky C has that team firing on all cylinders now, trying to get into a playoff spot. They're 1 point out. So, Diggs, got anything to comment on it?
That's crazy. I'd be scared if I was the other teams in that conference of the Islanders. Because if they get into playoffs, anything can happen at that point.
Well, with Toronto pulling away, it's going to be interesting to see what the bottom 4 are going to do. See if Panthers and Rangers are going to duke it out for the second spot, and then see if the Islanders are going to come up on the standings, because, like you said, Islanders are moving up. Detroit seems like they're sinking. I mean, it seems on right here there's a win streak of 2 wins already for the Islanders, and usually that was inconsistent throughout the week, with the weeks passing. And then Detroit looked strong for a little while. Now they're sinking. The biggest thing is Detroit's not really good on the road. They go 2-11 and 2. They're more stronger at home.
On to the Western Conference. It was Shark Week this week. The San Jose Sharks playing really well. They're 18-9 and 3, 39 points. Yeah, I just talked a little too fast. Said I was a little too excited. I believe they won 8 games in a row this week, if I'm not correct, if I'm not mistaken. They won 8. They're 8-2 this week, I believe. Yeah, they're 8-2. And slowly, 3 points behind them are the Winnipeg Jets, who had a difficult week this week, but were able to get out of there and hold on to the second place. 16-9 and 4, 36 points. Chicago's right behind them, 16-10 and 4. Calgary is losing footing on Anaheim, who has had a really good week this week. They've won like 7 games in a row, something like that. 9 games in a row. 7-2 this week.
7-2 this week. We have a rescheduled game going on, I think, tonight. So we could potentially end up in a playoff spot and knocking Calgary out if we win a game tonight before the regular scheduled league games. That's
nice. So good luck on that.
So, yeah. Mike, he's been very positive with all the players and everything. I just wanted to say that.
Good luck on that.
Very cool. And he's been leading with points too. He's a good player.
So,
you know what I'm saying?
Good luck on that again. We'll have more on that next week. So let's get on to our more interesting topic. 5-minute major. Let's start off with faking availability. It's come up multiple times throughout the week on the mini chat about faking availability. The commissioners are talking about it. It's going to be interesting to see how they deal with it, how they decide to deal with it, and how they're actually going to find it out if somebody's faking their availability. I believe it's pretty sketchy that they are faking their availability to do whatever they want to do, get on a team they want to get on. I don't know what it is. Diggs, do you have any ideas? You have any ideas on what's going on here, Diggs?
Well,
I mean, from what I understand, is like only one word comes out, and it seems like the word is ringers. That's all it is. It's like a sneaky way of getting ringers in. I think that's the bottom line.
Right, and if you say that you can only play on Thursdays and a team bids $4 million on you to start off, that's kind of weird. And then, okay, so say you can only play that game on Thursdays, and the next day, in the next week, you play Monday through Thursday, and you play 6 games or 8 games or however the maximum amount of games is, then that team should be fined and that player should be maybe not blacklisted, but at least
I don't think
season.
that these are players just coming into the league trying to get signed. They shouldn't be IR'd for the rest of the season. They should be fined. I don't care if it's no. Fuck Pete Rose.
That's tampering.
We don't want to get into that.
Look at what happened to Pete Rose.
I don't care about Pete Rose.
How can you say fuck Pete Rose?
This isn't a professional. The bottom line, Diggs. I'm sorry, but the bottom line is
the bottom line here.
This is not the MLB. This is not the NHL. This is the IOHL. We're trying to have fun here. You don't need to punish somebody that strictly for something so stupid. Give him a suspension. Suspend him Suspend him every week he doesn't update he doesn't tell the owners, the commissioners, his actual availability. Fine the team that tried to sign him, and if it's deemed that the management was involved in this. Just do stuff like that.
So would that player be taken off that team?
That'd be a good idea. That'd be a good idea. Make the bid. If they find out that management didn't make the bid void, and then restart the bidding.
Well, you can't. That's where the gray area is.
They'll figure out something. I know they will. But onto a subject that you brought up that I really like and I really think is going to be good for this section. Commissioners' behavior in the mini chat.
Okay. I was raised in a military family. A lot of my uncles were Marines. I signed up for the Marines. I got hurt. I couldn't make it through boot camp, whatever. But we were always taught to lead by example. And for someone to get inebriated or whatever, if you're in management, an owner, commissioner, whatever, I don't care who you are. If it's players that haven't been here and they don't know everybody, that's one thing. But to be considered a leader in the league and to get into the chat on the site and to start getting into fights with people and start calling people names and start calling people out by names is just totally unacceptable, and it's unsportsmanlike, and it's not a good example to set for new people coming into the league to see, or for players that are new to the league to see. And then, you know, they all start thinking that that's okay. This guy's, you know, look at what this guy's doing. No, it's not okay. Stuff happened, and it really aggravated me, and I think it's not okay for that stuff to happen, and I'm really disappointed at this point at the behavior.
You want to give
people.
us specifics? Like what happened? Just give us a description of the situation that just happened.
I don't. Well, a player that's a commissioner on a team got into a disagreement with the rest of his team. So that makes me think that if the entire team is disagreeing with one player, that one person might be wrong, whether they're a commissioner or not. I mean, if you have 10 people going, hey, this guy is wrong, and the one guy is saying, hey, I'm not wrong, you guys are all wrong, it tends to make me think that maybe the one guy just needs to take a step back and look at the situation and realize, hey, I might be wrong. You know? So you have, well, in the chat, a commissioner got into a fight with his entire team. And, it might have been the owner and the commissioner or whatever for the most part, but then other players started chirping in, and it just wasn't a pretty picture, and it really left me aggravated and disappointed at the end of the night, because I asked people to stop, that we could work this out privately, and they wouldn't stop at that point.
Diggs, do you have anything to comment on this?
Take it to the Xbox chat. Simple as that. I mean, the chat's there for simple things and whatnot, spreading good news, spreading the word, spreading up, free agent games, which have been successful this whole entire week. I mean, people that we've named off in the free agents and people we've talked to have all got signed pretty much this week, which is a positive note, but anything negative, take it out. You gotta address your team, either address it in a PM or take it to the Xbox live chat. If you can't make it there, then there's a section on the site for Skype. Do a Skype, talk about it, get in with your players. Don't put all your dirty business laundry out to everybody else to see.
Right. And if you want to trade, or you're not happy on your team or something like that, go ahead, but we're trying to keep players and owners and commissioners and all those people, we don't want anybody fighting in the chat. Keep that privately. You can say, I am not happy playing on my team, I would like to request a trade. Or you could say, I'm not happy with where I'm at in this league. I would like to be a GM, an owner, whatever you want to say, but just, we don't want people fighting in there with each other. It makes everybody look bad.
Commissioners need to be held to a higher standard. These commissioners talk about how owners and management need to be held to a higher standard. The commissioners need to be held to the highest standard in the league. Because they're promoting a league, they're promoting their own league, they're trying to make the league bigger, but they're pulling this crowd. I mean, yeah, most of
the commissioners do a freaking awesome job. And I'm not calling any of the commissioners out individually. I love all you guys. You guys work tirelessly in untold hours that nobody knows about. Because as an owner, management, I know, I put in a lot of hours, and you guys put even more than we do. And we're not attacking the commissioners by any means. We love you guys, we love this league, but if you're a new commissioner or something like that, you need to kind of watch your step until everybody knows you, and don't be getting into these kind of altercations with players in a public forum.
Definitely. I mean, it's interesting. We'll see what'll happen with that. So in this next section, we pre-record special guest sections, and we put them into this. And Diggs was not present for the special guest, so you may not hear him, but we'll be back after this. Well, all three of us will be back after the special guest. Okay, so for this section, we got a special guest, Murph today. So we're gonna have him on. We're gonna have him on for, what we had in the 5-minute major last week. Our little topics here. So first and foremost, how are you doing, Murph?
I'm great. How are you doing today? How you doing today, Pat?
Hey, I'm okay. How you doing, man?
I'm good. Just chilling, loafing.
So thanks for joining us. So, let's
I'm
just
just getting ready to do a shot of Fireball, Murph. You want one with me?
Yeah, I got some Crown in the fridge, man. I got a little doobie rolled up here. Let's get it going here, man.
All right. Awesome.
So last week on the 5-minute major, we talked about Toronto's little controversial plays and a couple of sketchy moves that they made in a couple of games. We're not going to go into the goalie one because that was handled. We'll go into the luring of a penalty type ragging the puck in the offensive zone type play.
Yeah, and we just wanted to have Murph on, just get his side of the story. And I'm gonna kind of play moderator and let Supreme Trooper ask him about the play. That was
oh, right. I heard a lot about it, and I can't say for myself. I wasn't in the game myself, but personally, I've had a lot of complaints about a lot of people, and you know what I mean. There's only so much as an owner that you can do. You can't really control the people. Like I like that little conversation you guys had last week there, and can't really control them too much. You can tell them what to do, what the rules are, but you never know what they're gonna do.
Just did my shot. So that wasn't a set play that you guys had predetermined that was going to happen?
Honestly, this is my first, half an hour ago I heard about it. I didn't even know anything about it.
Half an hour ago? We talked about it on the show. I thought you listened.
I heard some of it. I guess I didn't hear that part.
That's why you listen to the show for the longevity of it.
So, Supreme Trooper, let me ask you. You were actually playing in that game versus the Maple Leafs on the behalf of, what was the other team that was playing in that game?
Panthers.
The Panthers. And how did you feel at that point in double overtime when the other team started just not to move and I guess they were holding the puck against the boards or whatever, all of them, and waiting for somebody to hit them?
Well, it wasn't in double overtime. That game ended in overtime. But it started around the third period. It started around the 10-minute mark. They started, when they got into the offensive zone, they would play like they're gonna cycle the puck, stop, face the glass, and just stand there with the puck. And if you don't try and make a movement towards them, they wouldn't have moved the puck if we didn't move towards them. And I mean, we weren't gonna hit them, because if we hit them, we're gonna hit him to the boards and get a major penalty. And that's what it felt like they were trying to do, because every single player that was below the goal line was trying to do that.
So would you say that was a frustrating move?
It was a frustrating play. It slowed the game down a lot. And like I said last week, that's not hockey. That's not hockey.
Well, I mean, I was in the chat box at one point saying it should be considered unsportsmanlike conduct.
But there's no set rule
to be considered by the league, and that there would be suspensions hanging out, pending if I was a commissioner. But there's also no pending rule on a play like that. So do you guys both think, I want to get something from Murph. Do you think that should be something that should be addressed as a rule?
Well, I don't know. Well, if he can get it all the way into their zone and he's on the boards, I consider that as setup. He's not grabbing the boards. He's not doing nothing wrong. They could always double team him. You know what I mean? It comes down to the whole team, the whole strategy they have going, right? I wasn't there. I can't say too much about it. You know what I mean? I know all my players play hard. They play good. I don't know. I can't really say too much more on it, but
I myself
Pat, just give me 1 second. I have one question. How is standing still facing the glass playing hard?
Well, I wasn't there, man. I personally didn't see it. Was there no one on him covering him, or
there was nobody near him. He would stop, face the glass, with his ass to our face, and once we got near him, he would move the puck. So when we hit him, I either take a major penalty for interference or a major penalty for boarding.
Yeah, but understand if that keeps happening, you guys should put a player on that guy and watch him. You know what I mean? Don't even allow him to get the puck. You got to change your strategy.
But he's behind the net. If we put a player behind him, the middle of the ice is open.
Right.
And
Oh,
something
man,
is other way up.
you got to man up.
And in all fairness, too, Murph, I played against you guys, and if you do pull a player out of the slot, say the wings are covering the point guys, and your guys in the corner or whatever doing that, if that team pulls their player out, and all he's got to do is pass it, and you guys got a one-timer goal, and I've been the victim of it, so I know. You know what I'm saying? But I do really agree with Supreme Trooper. It's kind of like a gray zone, an area that's not maybe talked about a lot, or in the NHL, I think they would call the play dead. You know, but unfortunately in this game, the refs aren't intelligent enough yet to do that. Well, they're supposed to be for 15, but we can't even discuss that because we're stuck with the shitty hockey game on Xbox 360 for the whole next year, so whatever. But we can discuss that at a later time also.
Even with that, there's two sides to the story. I wasn't there. No one knows what really went on too, right?
And it would be so much easier as a discussion also if someone had a video capture of this thing with one of the cards, but that's also unfortunately not the case. But the reason we had Murph on to talk about this was that it was just such a big topic of discussion in the chat box all week, and we really wanted to just get both sides of the story.
Right.
And we want to thank Murph for being on, and giving us his part, and Supreme Trooper, we want to thank you because you were actually there playing for your input on the incident also.
Right. Yeah, no one knew who the player was who did it or was supposedly doing it too, right? So I don't know. Yeah, shout out to the IOHL Tank, Jay Mitch, all these guys, man. Do the bang, Kiefer. You know what I mean? Keep doing your thing. You guys too.
But I want to continue on this topic. Let's keep going. Let's keep this going.
Oh, okay.
It's not over yet.
Let's go.
Okay, well, what's your next question then?
But I mean, I want to go back to the topic where you can't control your players.
Right.
I have to disagree with you because there are stuff that you can do to control your players' actions during their games. Like, if they act up in a game or do any of that shit, you could have just suspended them and for a game. They wouldn't do that.
He wasn't in that game.
I'm glad you brought that up because it has happened to me. And his name was Kiprusoff, fucking dickhead.
He got blacklisted though. I'm saying you specifically. You made sure that happened?
Yeah, we had a goalie who was maybe his first game in. He didn't know the rules. Well, we told him, but he forgot. He ran out. I gave all my players shit. Kiprusoff was our veteran goalie. He knew so. I sent everyone messages. I bitched at everyone. He decided he was getting bored of the league. He didn't want to play anymore, so he decided he was going to fuck over the team and run out on purpose. And just to do it, you know what I mean?
Oh, wow.
That's
the other team doesn't know that.
They're
that up.
That was
going to start scoring.
So instead of him saying, hey guys, I don't want to play anymore, I decided I don't like the league, he decided, hey, I'm going to fuck you guys over, you know what I mean? Fuck you.
And, but that's one of the reasons why I didn't want to bring up the Kiprusoff story because it was already dealt with.
No, but that's an example. Like, I told him over and over and over, you know what I mean? But at the end, you can't control what he does, you know what I mean? You can lead a horse to water, but doesn't mean he's going to drink it.
I know that, but the thing is, you can also keep the water from the horse.
Right.
Can I say something here for 1 second? In my opinion, if a player does something like that, and this has been brought up also this week in the chat boxes, where players either do something detrimental to the team, which is what I think that would be categorized under, or say they message team management saying they're going to quit the league unless they're traded to a certain team, or unless instead of the minimum 3 games, they get 6 games or 5 games, or whatever the case may be.
Right. Once
you start dictating to management, I would like, there's a way to go about it. You can ask, or you can dictate. And if you're a player, you shouldn't be dictating to management, for one thing.
Right.
And a lot of these players are new players to the league, and we love you guys. We want you to play with us, but you just need to understand that there's a proper way to go about things. And if you ask in a nice way, your trade request, and that's why it's called a trade request. It's a request. It's not a requirement. And if you're
No, Pat, I'm gonna stop you there. It is a requirement. When a player asks to be traded, that team must ship him somewhere. That team must shop him around.
Right.
That's a requirement for the team when they do the trade request. So it's more than just a trade request. It's more of like
you're 100% right.
A trade requirement because they have to shop them now. They can't just be like, no, I don't want to trade you.
No, that's not what I'm saying. A player can request a trade and be put on the trade block in the owner's room and on WhatsApp in the owner's room there too. And if nobody wants that, if they hear that that's a problem player and nobody else wants them, they go on waivers. And then they go in training camp. And that's up to that player whether they want to go about it the right way or the wrong way. And if you go about it the wrong way and you're dictating to owners and stuff like that,
and all this malarkey with that.
I personally think that player should be blacklisted. Because at that point, if you had every player dictating to every owner what they want to do, this would be utter and extreme chaos, and nobody would be in control of anything. And every team would just go to shit.
Right.
I'm gonna leave that. Well, I'm gonna stop that conversation now. We'll leave that for next week. But Murph, thanks for coming on. Thanks for being respectful.
Yeah.
Thanks for being respectful about last week again. Thanks for being respectful about last week's little discussion.
Well, I know you wanted to have me on for the whole hour, but I got a few things I gotta do, but
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Meet me outside in 5 minutes with that blunt.
Yeah, man. Puff, puff, pass. Gotcha.
Alrighty. Thanks Murph, again.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot. Shout out to Toronto Maple Leafs. Woo!
So we're back. I'd like to thank Murph again for coming on the show and addressing that. We're gonna wrap up the show here. We got a couple.
Wait, there's a urgent message from Central America. Bill and A.W. Kiefer were spotted in the area over the last week, and 2,500 babies were born. It's like it's crazy. I don't understand. It's those guys. Wow.
They must be tired.
I just wish I could keep up with them. That's crazy.
Okay, well, we're gonna wrap up the show now. We got a couple good games tonight. Let's see here.
Kiefer, keep it up.
Oh my god. Alright, we got a couple games this week. That's enough, Pat.
Okay. Stopping.
Toronto Maple Leafs versus the Florida Panthers in the first game. That'll be a good matchup. They're building a rivalry. New York Rangers versus Detroit at 10:30. That's going to be an interesting one. Detroit's struggling to stay in their position. Islanders versus Ducks. Two teams looking to get out of the basement. San Jose Sharks versus Winnipeg. We got Chicago versus Calgary. At 11:15, we have New York versus Toronto. We have the Panthers versus the Islanders. Detroit versus San Jose. Winnipeg versus Chicago. And Anaheim versus Calgary. And Anaheim looking to beat Calgary so they can get a hold on that fourth place. That's it for IOHL Radio tonight. Thanks for listening in. Thanks for joining us. We're gonna have some interesting giveaways coming up soon. Just listen to my giveaway contests like that. For Jay Diggs and Pat, signing out.
Shh, no talking.
Pat, go take a shower.